So I have lived in this house for a week now. I moved exactly 1 week ago. And in this 1 week, I have learned quite many things that I was not expecting. Many of these are great advantages, but many of them are huge challenges that were totally unexpected. And here are my most challenging aspects of living in a new home and being a homeowner. Okay, so the very first challenge is a scary one. What happened is that when I was just moving, just a few days before I formally moved into my new home, I was placing some things from my old apartment to my new home, right? At the time, I met a couple of my neighbors and they were both talking that in last 5 years, I would be the fourth homeowner for this home and that nobody stays here for too long. And then they just joked that maybe this house is haunted. Okay, and I laughed at it, they laughed at it, and we called it good. And then while I was moving to my new home, I had a friend who was visiting me and he also helped me move, right? So now he stayed in this home for 2 nights and he spent both nights in the guest bedroom. Now, what happened is that after he spent the first night, the next evening after the sunset, we were both talking and then I told him about this incident where both neighbors were joking that this house was haunted. And he had already spent one night in the guest bedroom. And then he told me that, what? I also felt the same. I was like, what? What the hell are you talking about? He said, I felt like this home was haunted. I was like, why do you say that? Like, why are you scaring me now? Okay, so then he told me that while he was sleeping in the bedroom, the fan would not turn off. He would try to do whatever he could and he was pulling those strings. And the fan just kept going. I was like, oh dang man. Okay, that's as simple as that. I have had that issue all my life because it is very hard to understand how many times you need to pull that string. Because what happens, which is weird here, is that in other countries you have regulators or fan with that are next to the switchboard, right? Here you have to pull strings. And it is not that easy to figure out how many times exactly you need to pull the string to stop the fan. And then he heard weird noises, which I eventually figured out were the noises of the wood because all these homes are made of wood. And the wood actually sometimes contracts and expands and it is more audible and easy to hear in the night time when it is very quiet. So what happens is that because it is such a large home, it tends to be very quiet and this neighborhood is also very quiet. My previous apartment was right on the street and you could hear the traffic noise all day, all night. Here, you don't hear any noises at all. So even when you hear small noises, it can be scary if you pay attention to it and if you ascribe some paranormal activity to it. In fact, in the last 1 week that I've lived here, every night I have heard those noises and I'm okay with it because I know it is just wood contracting and expanding. Now, years ago, what happened in around 2007-8, I watched this movie called Paranormal Activity in which they emphasize on every small sound. And for 10 days after I watched the movie, I also started noticing every small sound until I got used to it and I forgot about the movie. And in the last 1 week that I have lived in this house, I have not had any ghost visiting me at all. Okay, so I don't think this house is haunted. In fact, all the people who moved out of this home actually ended up getting jobs elsewhere. And because of their job situation, they moved out. And I thought that I would probably be living here for a while, at least for 3 to 5 years minimum. So I might as well just buy this home. And if I don't buy a home now, maybe the homes could become so expensive later that they could become totally unaffordable for me. So that was my whole logic. I don't see any logic for any ghosts, but let me just show you exactly what happened and why he felt the house was haunted. So I'm taking you to the guest bedroom here and then let us see what happens here. So this is my guest bedroom and this is how you turn the lights on and see this weird system of pulling the strings. Okay, so he had to pull this string. Okay, I need to switch. Okay, so when you are pulling these strings, right? It is not easy to understand how many times exactly you need to pull it before you know that the fan will actually end up stopping. So an easy trick to stop the fan is to just turn this switch off and then the fan will turn off because this point controls the whole fan, and you don't have to keep pulling on those strings there. And similarly, you can just either pull this string to turn the light off, right? Or you can just turn the light off like this, and the lights are off. Simple. There is no ghost. Now moving on to the second challenge is having to clean large surfaces in the kitchen. See, in an apartment, you don't have all that much space to clean. Whenever you mess it up, you can just clean it. But in a large home, you have a lot of surface to clean. Let me just show you what I mean by that. So when you are in a home, you have all the surface to clean. This whole surface going all the way up there, and then the middle countertop and the whole countertop over there. And that actually takes quite a bit of time to clean, right? And this is, you have to accept. By the way, this is a Google Wi-Fi point, and it works like a charm, not sponsored. Now, if cleaning the kitchen is such a challenge, imagine what it would take to clean the whole house. So I guess I'll have to hire professional cleaners who can just come for an hour or two, and where 2-3 people come and they clean your whole house, and then they take money for it. I think it is much more time efficient when somebody else comes and cleans the whole house, and that can actually save a lot of time and energy for you. Now the third challenge was totally unexpected. I should have expected this, is having to change the light bulbs, which can be very challenging. Now just observe this point. Look at this. Okay, this is how high the lights are. There's no way I can reach those lights. They are at least 2.5 times above my height. These lights are still okay. The bigger challenge is those ceiling lights, which are more than 20 feet above. You see that? Okay, so what happens is that, so now what is happening is that I personally do not like yellow lights. I always prefer white lights. Okay, yellow lights hurt my eyes. So I changed most of the lights to white lights to the extent possible. Now these were also yellow lights, and I really wanted to get rid of those lights. Now how do you do that? I eventually figured out that you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's, and then you have these instruments that you can use to change the lights, and these instruments are not that easy to use. Let me just show you how exactly I did it. So I bought this stick, which is quite a big stick, right? And it can extend big time. Now what I had to do was that I had to fix this here, where you can put the bulb in here and keep extending the stick, and it becomes a pretty large stick. And you have to tighten this stick here so that it doesn't collapse on itself. Okay, and now you have a large stick. Let me just keep showing, which is I think at least 15 feet long. Okay, and this large stick that you have, and this bulb holder on one hand, you can fix the bulb here, and you can change the lights over there. So here I am, and here is how you reach those bulbs. Easy enough. Okay, and then you insert the bulb in this holder, and it becomes tight, and then you just, either when you are fixing the bulb, you turn right, and when you are trying to remove the bulb, you turn left. And that is as simple as it can get. But it is much harder to do this way rather than when you do it by yourself by hand. Your hand is much more efficient and effective when you're trying to change those bulbs. Whereas when you're using this, it can take much longer. It can take maybe 2 or 3 times more time to do the same simple task. Challenge number 4 is to do with the insulation and the air conditioner. I found it challenging is because the way this home is built, this is pretty new home. This was built in 2014, 2015. So this is just about 5-6 years old. Now what happens here is that this home is very well insulated. The quality of insulation in this home is top class. What that means then is that the AC is very efficient and effective. Now when I was coming to this home to check this home out, whether or not I want to buy it, I was coming from a very hot environment outside in Texas heat and entering this home, and it felt very comfortable. But Now, when you actually are living in this home, you're not coming from outside where it is very hot. You are inside the whole time, and then it actually gets much colder. So I'm yet to figure out what is the optimal temperature that I should set up on the thermostat here. It is actually forcing me to turn the AC on and off every few hours. If I'm too cold, I will turn the AC off, and if I'm getting hot, I turn the AC on. So I hope that in next few days I will figure out the optimal temperature when you can just keep the AC running and it is comfortable. Now, one of the advantages of turning the AC on and off is that when the AC is off, the electricity consumption is reduced dramatically. So it is possibly a good idea that you turn the AC on when it gets cold, you just turn the AC off, and after many hours when you start getting hot again, turn the AC on, and that way you can actually manage your electricity bill well. Now, whether I will do that or not, I don't know. I will figure out in next few days what should be the ideal case when I start to get electricity bills, and then I start to figure out what is the optimal temperature for the home. Challenge number 5 is that you have to fix all the issues on your own. There is no maintenance person hired by the apartment who will just come and fix the issues. You have to take ownership of everything. Now, one of the issues that I have is that I'm not happy that I have 2 garage door openers, but if I'm coming from outside, let's say I go for a bike ride or for a run, I have to enter with shoes through the main door to get inside the house. I would rather be able to open the garage and enter through my garage, because when I'm going out for a run or a walk, I don't carry my garage door opener, right? So now it is forcing me to hire somebody to install a keypad where you can put the keypad next to the garage and somehow connect it to the garage controls, so that when you punch your code, the garage opens on its own and you don't have to enter the home with shoes on. And this is a perfect timing because it looks like the handyman to install the keypad for garage is here, and let us see what happens. So you are the garage door magician here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
What are you wanting to get a keypad installed on your garage door?
yes, sir. So because what happens here is that I have 2 garage door openers, and then when I go out for a walk or a run, I don't want to be carrying the garage door opener with me the whole time.
Okay.
So if there's a keypad, I can actually punch the code and get into my car garage, right? So
Yes,
if
sir.
you can install a keypad either here or there, whichever is a better location, I would be able to enter my garage more freely.
Yes, sir. I can do that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir.
It's wireless, so just screw onto the wall,
Perfect.
and you can pick the code yourself. It's anywhere from 3 to 8 digits. Okay.
Okay,
So
perfect.
You would like to get that done?
Yeah, please. Sure. Thank you.
And which side do you? If it was me, I would probably just put it on this side.
Okay, this side, that's fine.
The
Okay.
reason being is if you came out of the front door,
Okay, perfect. Okay, I think that might work well
it
because
doesn't matter.
when I go on my bike rides, I can just put my bike here and open the door right there and enter.
But then, well, yeah, if that's what you'd like to do,
Sure.
doesn't matter.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
About your car, so do you have the home link buttons inside your car?
I have the garage door opener installed in my car.
You do, but you just haven't ever synced it up with your opener, the actual.
What opener are you talking about?
The built-in remotes inside.
There's a
the
built-in
car?
remote in my car?
There could be.
Okay,
in your car.
really?
So you mind if we take a look?
Sure, sure. There's a built-in remote? Let's figure out.
There's 3 buttons inside the car.
Okay.
You know, they will normally have dots on them. And one will have 1 and one will have 2. Here you go. They're right here.
Oh, so they are inbuilt garage door buttons.
Yes, and you'll notice that there's a symbol of a house right there next to it. And that's the home link.
I didn't realize that. I had this the whole time.
Right. And by using these, you can get rid of this. You won't have to have this inside your car.
Oh, perfect.
So you
Okay.
won't have to worry about that.
Okay, so can you
And
please
these will
program this?
normally-
Whoa!
Normally, you have to press the button 3 times. Yours will take a few more times inside the car.
So now I don't even need a garage door opener.
No.
I can just press that button.
And it will open and close the garage.
I have an inbuilt garage door opener inside my car and I never knew about it.
Yes, sir.
So I have one extra garage door opener for myself. That's interesting. Thank you so much, sir. And the sixth challenge so far has been the hardest for me. What I was not expecting was to struggle with the yard maintenance. Now what happened is that after I moved here, you have to maintain the entire yard yourself, the front yard and the backyard, right? I called every landscaper in the area and it looks like all the landscapers are overbooked. Now what it is doing is that it is forcing me to take the responsibility. I decided now that, you know what, screw this. I am fed up of trying to contact all these landscapers. Let me just buy my own equipment and do my own yard maintenance. It is actually a good form of exercise because I see that among all the houses around me, it is half and half. Half the homeowners actually hire somebody to do the yard work for them and half the homeowners actually do it themselves. My next door neighbor does it all by himself and he was very kind enough to teach me some of those techniques on what equipment to buy and how to actually maintain the yard. So I will go now and buy yard maintenance tools that include a lawnmower, the edger and the blower, and if needed I will have to buy more equipment. And I think in a way it is good because the amount of money that these landscapers charge, the equipment will pay for itself within 6 months to 1 year. After that you are doing your own work though, so that is more challenging. Now I think it is okay because it is a form of exercise. When you are doing your own yard work, when you are mowing your own lawn, you are finishing your workout for the day. It could be challenging in some cases because when it is too cold or too hot, it could be a bit challenging, and one of my friends actually cautioned me from doing that. He said that, you know what, in Texas heat it becomes very hot and do you really want to go out and do that work? My logic was that I will do it in the night, and the way to do it is that I think it is better to buy electric lawnmower and all electric equipment which are much quieter, and do that in the evening or in the night times during summer and in the middle of the day during winter. And in winter you don't have to spend all that much time. The most work you have to do is during fall and spring when the grass grows faster, and especially when it rains the grass grows much faster. Now let us figure out how to do all that. Let me go and buy the equipment and start my own yard maintenance work. Thank you so much, sir.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. One more box. We pull it up a little bit. Let me just do this.